Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, step right up. It's time for comic disclosure. Two clowns talking an incredible amount of bullshit. And neither of them will ever prove any of this. It's the Comic Disclosure Show, where two clowns talk a whole lot of bullshit and have zero proof for any of this. Hosted by your two favorite cosmic clowns, Davey, Clowncock, and Clowny No Good. Let's get into it, friends.
Well, greetings and salutations, friends. It's time to go down the rabbit hole. And oh, what a crazy rabbit hole it is! Yeah. Filled with lies and deception, half-truths and bullshit. And two greedy clowns who only care about money. See, they want to tell their bullshit stories with no proof. They've got no proof for any of this. But that didn't stop them from collecting hundreds of thousands of dollars for their bullshit stories. All they care about, these greedy clowns, is cash. It's time to go down the rabbit hole, it is. And oh, what a crazy rabbit hole it is. See, these two greedy clowns thought they could tell fake stories for money. And they made hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars selling this bullshit. They'll never prove any of this. They got no proof. All they can do is lie, my friends. And they may have been hired by the deep state to muddy the waters into serious research of these topics. That's right, these clowns are hired guns. Welcome to the rabbit hole, friends. Watch.
I'm your host, and I'm here with an insider who claims to have worked in the secret space program. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. One of the things that was very fascinating to me early along was getting access to this insider, Daniel. He called his project Phoenix 3. He claims to have worked at Brookhaven National Labs on Montauk Point, Long Island. Most people call it the Montauk Project. And as I said, it was a seat from a UFO hooked up to a very powerful set of transformers, and the person operating the chair, it would amplify their psychic ability, and they could manifest things in the room or create a portal that would take somebody through space or time. Is that what happens based on your knowledge, or is there something else that happens?
In my personal case, I was involved in what they called the 20 and back program. And it was explained early on that I would serve 20 years and then, as strange as it sounds, be age regressed and brought back to the original point in time that I left and deposited back into my life with the give or take a few minutes of the time I left.
But there's a problem, because you've aged 20 years while you're out there in space.
Right. And what happens is at the end of your 20 years, and in my case it was more like 21, they take you back to the Lunar Operation Command, where you go through a massive debriefing, sign more papers, and then they take you and put you in a table and they sedate you. And basically paralyze your body to where you cannot move. You have to be completely still throughout the process. And they put up these thin, almost like cardboard boards. You're strapped to like this kind of like a foam support, and then they put these like similar and look like weight, the way they were handling them, to like cardboard like boards around the shape of your body. And the process took about 2 weeks. And in this time period, they somehow technologically regressed your body back to 20 years to the time of when you joined. And during this time, some people had gotten tattoos, scars, injuries that would disappear, and
Really?
you would be regressed back. People that have been put through this, when they've been back in, after they've been deposited back into their previous life, or this life that we know here, and they're undergoing hypnosis or memory regression, they'll have scars appear on their body during the process that will appear and then go away, or tattoos, outlines of red scar tattoos that will appear for a short period of time and then go away. And it's some sort of cellular memory that's happening.
You didn't know this when you came forward, but many years ago, all the way back around 2000, I had read a really weird book online called The Mars Records. And it was a guy, and at the time there was no other data I had to correlate with this, but it didn't sound like he was lying. Just intuitively, it didn't feel like it was wrong. He was describing being in exactly what you're talking about now, the secret space program. He only got very slight memories of being around Mars, having some kind of psychic killing that he could do, a psychic termination technique involving telekinesis that he was very good at. He would fry people's synapses. And he reported that at the end of the assignment that he had in the 1970s, that he went through a 20-year age regression, that they brought him back to the time that he left. He'd worked for 20 years, and they age regressed him. This is exactly what you said. Were you familiar with people getting some kind of psychic training that could allow them to fry people's synapses?
Absolutely. And there are stations that they sit or stand at that enhance their abilities. And this is one of the weapon systems. And those that are trained in remote viewing and remote influencing, I mentioned it's like an anode cathode. One is made out of copper, one is made out of like a stainless steel or another metal. They place their hands on it, and then they focus their minds on a target, and they are able to kill the targets in several different ways, and multiple targets as well. And just like people that use fly drones and kill people now, a lot of these people are lied to about the targets that they're taking out. But yes, that is a very real but hard to believe technology and weapon system.
Well, you heard it right here. That's all the time we have for this episode. There's a lot more where this came from coming up next time, because you need to know. And we thank you for watching. If you are overweight, and I used to be 225 pounds at 5'9", I had man boobs, I had the, big spare tire, roll of fat on the bottom, 3 rolls, each one bigger than the one above it. That was me. I was the fat kid. I had man boobs. That's pretty awesome. I am going to lose my voice pretty soon. I can feel it coming. So we're just going to keep going until something goes wrong. But I wanted to get through this content. So here I was at the Marriott Hotel on the first night when I got to LA, after I went to my Airbnb, and I open up the door. Cat! Ah! Cat! 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 Ah! Ah! Cat smell! Ah! Cat! Ah! Cat! 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 Ah! Ah! Cat smell! Ah! That's what it was like when I got in there. Oh my God, did it smell bad? Oh my God, did it smell bad? Ah, it's just amazingly intense cat box odor. I open up the house, I'm like, oh my God, how am I even going to sleep in this place? And then I find out that the Glendale Freeway, the Highway 2, is right next to it, like 100 feet away. The noise was so loud, the cars were so loud, because I'm up on a hill, and here's this highway right down here, so there's a direct, unencumbered line of just air between all these cars on this, I think it was a 6-lane highway. Might even been 8, but it was at least 6. And they're running all day and all night. And every single time that one goes by, you hear it in the house. I also go in there, and the house is sweltering hot. So it's like, wait a minute, I rented this for the week. I gave you guys $4,000, what it was. I paid up front. And I walk into the house, and they didn't even turn the air conditioning on, but they had one of those Leaf thermostats where they could have totally done it online. So I get in there, and it's this overpoweringly bad cat smell. And I'm already hearing the traffic. And then it's like, well, it's so freaking hot in here. The only way I might be able to sleep in this stench is if I can air out the house and get the temperature down. So then when you open up the windows, of course, now the cars are like just really, really incredibly loud. And I realized, like, you know what? Even when the windows are closed and even when my earplugs are in, this place is just very noisy and incredibly, incredibly bad smelling. And I cannot do this. I mean, as you guys heard in some of my previous shows, I am hopelessly in debt. The only way I can ever get out of the debt, which is entirely taxes, okay? There's nothing else going on but taxes. And I'm already seeing people create these conspiracy theories. There was some of the trolls online were trying to say that people had given me money for hover cars and I didn't deliver on the hover car. That is absolutely not true. Yeah, I found out that I could do these online conferences, and you can only really do this if you're a big public figure. I've got Ancient Aliens. I've been over 100 episodes. If there's a television on, and it's on History Channel, you're going to see me sooner or later. So when you have that level of exposure, this is actually something that works. And again, if you want to get mad at me, oh my God, David's making money. People just get mad that I'm making money. Well, how did I pay for this? How did I pay for these cameras? How did I have the ability to go from one to the other like this, or maybe even another one? Well, I bought these, right? And so some of the trolls online basically don't feel that you should ever be able to be paid for making art. But I would say to you trolls, well, wouldn't it be cool if you could get paid for making art? Are you out of your freaking mind? Like, I'm lying there and I'm just hearing, it's crazy, crazy rushing air noise. And again, it's cutting right through my earplugs. I can't get rid of it. I had asked for a quiet room. Lounge. I can't, like, stay at this hotel if all I'm going to do is work on the internet in a lounge. because people recognize me. I'm naked in public. I can't just hang out in a lounge because everybody's going to go, "Are you David?" And then they want to talk. Not that that's bad, but you can't get work done in a lounge. You know, not me. Are you out of your freaking mind? So again, remember, I don't have a phone. I don't have a phone. The only thing I have is GPS on the car that I'm using. And now I've got to be there at 12:30. I've got to be at the venue at 12:30. I was very, very aware of not stuttering, not saying any crutch words at all. And I was just very, very meditative and very dialed in and focused. We got the thing done, and everybody was speechless. They were so amazed. Nobody even really knew what to say. This would also happen when I did Ancient Aliens. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that when people see somebody sit down for 4.5 hours and just disgorge this incredible information without ever making a mistake, without ever needing to stop and retape at all, they're just dazzled. Whoa, this has got to be something crazy. Whoa, this has got to be something crazy. People are freaking crazy. And then it was after that, when I was driving back, that I got out on the road and this guy behind me, and I flipped him off. And then the next thing you know, it's like he wants to kill me. This is all in the same drive on the way home. Okay, that's when that happened, on the way home. So I still can't get the phone to work. This is like the second or third night, the phone still isn't working. Finally, by the following morning, I was like, okay, the only way I'm going to get this phone to work is I got to start deleting all the videos off of it. Because I got to create enough space, because it won't even let me do dictation. You try to hit something, it just goes black. The phone is all screwed up. It's not working properly. I mean, thank God Google Maps worked. But now it's like, okay, well, I got to go through and I got to delete a bunch of videos. So I start deleting videos, and of course, they're all videos with my ex-wife when we were very in love, and everything was great. And so that creates all this sadness, and I'm getting all this kind of, trauma from looking at old videos when I was happier. And then the next thing you know, the guy calls me, my producer got first. The minute that my phone was like clear enough, he starts calling me, because now it could finally work when I got the storage below 128 gigabytes. And I just lost it. I just started crying. I said, look, man, I'm just so cold. I haven't been eating, and I've got this massive sore throat, and I can't stop coughing. And I'm just so exhausted, and I'm so tired, and everybody here is crazy, and they're all evil, and they're all wanting to, like, scream in your face and steal your money and rip you off and get aggressive and cut you off on the road or kill you on the road. There's a lot of really interesting stuff coming out from the Alliance. If you look at Shadow of Ezra Cohen, where they're talking about a November to remember. That was one of the posts they just came up with. So I think we are going to see some really big stuff happening. So I still don't know if I want to stay here the whole winter, because like today is 11 degrees outside. I have to wear ski pants to go outside and a base layer. So I don't really want to do this all winter, but I also don't really know where we're going next. Stavati, our aerospace company, it looks like we're getting some deals coming in. There's actually about 4 or 5 that are really amazing. But until they happen, we're still just on life support, and it's very stressful, and it's very intense, it's very dramatic. So my goal is not to keep repeating pain and difficult experience. My goal is to have fun and enjoy my life. And even though I got snow when I look out the window right now, I mean, it's just 5 inches of snow on my railings, I would much rather be here than in the summery weather of Los Angeles. I have been so constipated. I have been so constipated. I have been so constipated. So constipated. I have been so constipated. I mean, just before, I've probably spent 45 minutes trying to get this latest one that's on deck out of me. And I just can't do it. sitting there just freaking going crazy. I'm very happy about what we've achieved here. So I want to thank you for watching, and we will see you next Sunday. I don't anticipate I'm going anywhere, and I want to start doing more shows. So thank you for your support. And I really do need your help. So there's 7 books of Michael Prophecies now available, and those books are all at https://thedisclosure.com. We also have a 10.5-hour course available right now. It's already deliverable. All 11 episodes are done. It's called Sacred Science of Michael Prophecies. That's part of this course offering. And I'm going to have an upcoming new video course, which I'm going to start doing the slides for this week, called The Spirit of Michael Prophecies, which is also included in this. And I'm going to have at least 7 videos where I go through the 7 books and hit all the highlights. So if you don't have time to read all this, you can watch video. I got to get the hell out of here. I can't do this. Galaxy, the alchemy of Jesus Christ, is that you will become like him. John 14:12. As I do these things. So this is also why, like, please, nobody should ever come to my house. And it just happened again this past week, and I typically call it a stalker incident when it does. I have no trespassing signs up. It is illegal when you post no trespassing signs on private property. It is illegal to cross them, regardless of whether you think you found something and you think it's the right address. Okay, so I have been told to expect that somebody would come and that it would be an operation and that it would not be what it looks like. So I have to assume if anybody shows up at my house that it's highly threatening. I've had multiple briefings about this. I am not allowed to ignore it. Okay, and if you don't believe that I've had multiple briefings as if I need to do this, but okay, look, what do we got right here? We got 2 challenge coins. One of these is from an army general. Let's see if I can get that in focus. Yeah, there it is. And one of these is an Iron Eagle. Okay, so you can't get coins like these from people unless this guy's a general and this guy's a colonel in the Navy. Okay, or Air Force rather. Wait a minute, this is Navy. I got to get this right. Air Force Colonel, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm crazy. Anyway, that's the kind of stuff that happens when you talk to real insiders. They give you challenge coins. We're going to start making our own here pretty quick. Stavati challenge coins. But this is not fake. And so, again, the insiders have told me that I have to suspect that if anybody comes here, that it's a murder, actually. And so please do not come to my house. You will be considered a security threat, and I have to deal with it as such. So I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be excited. I'm not going to be thrilled about it. I have to assume that this is a subterfuge of some kind. So I'm going to try to do more events, and I want to speak to you one-on-one like this, but please don't try to have in-person contact. I haven't had anybody here, not my family, not friends, no romance. Okay, so I'm not looking for anybody to come and move in or hang out or show up. This is what you get right now. And I'm sorry if you want more, but that's what we got. If you want to do more with me, you can apply for a job with the company because we're going to be hiring a lot of people.
I just wanted to publicly apologize. Turns out I made many slanderous and false statements on my latest live stream. Looks like I totally didn't get my facts right, and I falsely accused someone of many heinous things that he did not do. I just wanted to say I'm sorry since it was wrong to do that. I said I was going to get Stephen Cambion arrested. The truth is that he is an honest and well-respected investigative journalist. By making phone calls and fact-checking the things I say on my show, he is just doing his job, which is covering New Age, UFO, and conspiracy land topics on his show. I was wrong when I said he told Christopher Besker he was working for the Washington Post. The truth is, Stephen Cambion has a written agreement with a Washington, D.C.-based news organization, but not the Washington Post. When he called Christopher Besker, he gave his correct press credentials. If I sue him, Stephen can show everyone in court his written agreement with the Washington, D.C.-based news organization he has a written contract to produce written articles for. Then everyone will see his genuine press credentials and know he'd have no reason to lie about his press credentials. If I sue Steven, I'd be proving that I am attempting to silence an investigative journalist who is writing a story about me and Swatted Aerospace. That's right. If reporters call and ask questions, or try and fact-check me or Swatted Aerospace, I'm just going to sue them into silence or die trying. I claimed Steven sent me multiple death threats on June 29th between 4 and 5 p.m. It turns out Steven could not have sent anything to me during that time. He was at a pond at his cabin teaching his son to fish. His public X post confirmed that. He sent no messages other than those tweets all day. His phone log shows on that date he sent no text messages, had no voice calls, and sent no emails. His only activity was to post to X of his sons and him fishing at the pond next to his cabin. His phone was in airplane mode most of the weekend. He unplugs from the web at the cabin as much as he can. I also accused Steven of calling animal control on me, but it turns out neither of the people who contacted animal control was Steven. He was able to track down who sent those messages to animal control, proving, once again, I was completely and totally wrong to accuse Steven of sending those messages. Now you may be wondering, how many times can I get my facts wrong in one live stream? It turns out I got everything about Steven wrong. I collected super chats while I was telling my audience complete and total lies about Steven Cambion of Truth Seekers. I profited from fake facts and misinformation. So every threat of lawsuits I make, you have to keep in mind, I'm threatening to sue a reporter who has been asking questions about my business dealings. All his reports have been factual and accurate. I can't attack his facts, so I'll just call him a satanic pedophile. That worked great for Corey. Wow, yeah, that worked out great for Corey Good. Maybe this is a bad plan. After all, if I sue Steven Cambion, I'll be giving him subpoena power over all my records. Then I'll have to sit in a deposition for an entire day while he and his lawyer get to ask me any questions they want to. Maybe this is a bad plan. Maybe I shouldn't have lied that I got swatted too. After all, anyone can call and check and find out that is another fake fact I used to collect super chats with. Wow. Yeah, I guess I should probably stop threatening to sue reporters covering me. This could end badly for me. I made many false claims on my last live stream. I got almost all my facts wrong, even though I claim I am such a great researcher. The truth is, I made it all up. I conflated multiple people into one main villain I could sell to my dumb as rocks audience. They ate it up. Facts don't matter. Praise the cash. I collected a lot of super chats giving my audience completely fake information. I made many claims, but I can't prove any of them. Meanwhile, Steven can disprove many of them. He's going to show evidence that I lied to my audience. Again, he's proven I lie to my audience many times. Steven Cambion is a great reporter. He reported on the Emery Smith PayPal thing, the Pete Peterson GoFundMe thing, my charity, my shady aerospace company, and more. In fact, this reporter is so good, I'm going to have to hire lawyers to shut him down. His fact-based reporting is affecting my grift. So like I said, I'm going to have to apologize in advance for what happens next, but I just can't let a reporter this good keep reporting on me. I'm sorry I lied about him, but the grift has to go on. Nothing can stop the grift. Praise the cash and praise the grift, bitches. I gotta take Steven down.
Hey, Brian, it's David Wilcock.
Hi, how are you?
Well, a little sad. I had to put my dog down yesterday, but what's going on?
I'm so sorry to hear that. So, we were reaching out because we got a couple of people that sent us in some emails concerned about your dog Girly, that she wasn't doing too well, so they wanted us to pop in and do a welfare check, but it sounds like you've gone ahead and put her to sleep, but we just wanted to follow up on those complaints to check on her welfare.
So I'm a famous person, and I have a stalker. His name is Steven Cambion.
Okay.
And he has been attacking me for 10 years online, and we're getting ready to do a massive lawsuit because he also attacks my aerospace company, Swatted. And I imagine this is his way of swatting me. He's done fake lawsuits from Britain, fake lawsuits from Holland. We told him that we're going to sue him, He called the CEO of my aerospace company, Chris Beskar, and pretended to be the Washington Post. He did that yesterday, and he was all concerned about, the lawsuits that we're going to file against him. This guy is really, really crazy.
Okay.
And so my guess is that because I said that Gurley had this accident, that he is, again, trying to use, he's a psychopath, he's a stalker. And so it would make sense in his warped mind that he would try to swap me with the police and say that I was abusing my dog. But no, she had septicemia, and if I hadn't have taken her to the vet yesterday and euthanized her, she could have been, she could have gone into convulsions because she had this black diarrhea. I filmed it. There was like a 15-foot splatter area of black diarrhea all over the carpet. She's been degrading for 3 years.
Okay.
But this is part of it. This is going to be part of our lawsuit. It's almost certainly him. So if you could get me those emails, it would really help with the lawsuit.
Okay.
Because I'm almost certain it'll end up chasing him.
What I will do is I'll text you a case number that we have where all of this will be documented.
Okay, great.
And the emails will be included in that. You can then go forward with making a records request with our records unit.
Okay.
And I just have some follow-up questions regarding Gurley, just because I need to dot my I's and cross my T's.
Sure.
You mentioned in your voicemail that your regular veterinarian was Netherland.
Yeah, I took her to Netherland Veterinary Hospital yesterday. They have 2 doctors. I met with Dr. Nate. We debriefed about Gurley for probably an hour before the decision to go ahead with the euthanasia was made. She was diagnosed with degenerative myoplegia, and he didn't really know what the internal bleeding was. It could have been a massive stomach ulcer or something, but
Okay.
of course it's going to lead to septicemia. So.
And you said she had been going downhill for a few years. I'm assuming you had her seen by a veterinarian in that time?
No, I did not.
Okay. Is there any reason?
It was never bad enough to take her to the vet.
Okay.
She just wouldn't get up off the floor, and she'd grown, and she was peeing on the floor a lot, and, she had intermittent pooping and peeing, like sometimes she'd do it, sometimes she wouldn't.
Okay.
But I never felt, I'm a very busy guy, I'm a public figure, I'm always struggling financially, so it never seemed real enough to go take her to the vet until this happened. But when I took her in there, I wasn't 100% sure that we were actually going to carry through with it, and that's why we talked for so long.
Okay. And when did she start to go downhill pretty badly?
Well, this has been a very long process, but I would say that as of maybe 3 months ago, she started to have these farts that smelled really bad. Like every night when I would have her in my room, I'd have to air out the room. And I didn't know if that was that she was about to die. I just had a conversation with my mother on, I guess, Friday, and I still didn't want to put her down. But we had discussed, you got to take her to the vet, you got to get a diagnosis, because she's smelly farts and she's peeing on the floor and her legs don't work. And on the day that I called my mother, that was the first time that she had fallen while she was walking. She would fall sometimes on the stairs trying to get upstairs or something, but that day, Friday, was the first time that she had fallen while she was just walking through the house.
Okay.
I was like, oh, man.
And about when did her legs really start to fail? You said that was a few weeks ago. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I was understanding the timeline.
Well, there was periodic stuff where she would stumble when she was going up the stairs, and that's been happening for about maybe 3 or 4 months, where it was more often. It would happen occasionally before then, but nothing really that old.
Okay.
In the last 3 or 4 months, the myoplegia started to become more obvious. But again, it was just when she was going up the stairs, and she wasn't getting strongly injured. She just stumbled a little bit. But it was when she fell on Friday while she was walking just in the house that I'm like, oh, shit.
Okay. And about how old was she?
Well, she was a rescue when I lived in LA, so we don't know her exact age, but she was probably 14.
Okay, so she was getting up there in her years for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm quite certain that this is Stephen Cambion Leduc. This guy, this is really helpful. The fact that he tried to swap me with you guys is really going to help our lawsuit. If I shared with you the amount of incredible malice and violence that this guy has, the incredible number of things he's done to try to hurt me just because I'm a famous person, it would blow your mind.
Okay.
I have no doubt that it will trace back to him. No doubt at all.
Okay.
Nobody else would do this but him.
All right. Well, I'm really sorry to hear this is all going
I haven't
on.
been swatted already, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Sounds like there's a whole lot going on in regards to that. How do you spell his name?
Well, his real name, so he has this show online on YouTube called Truth Seekers, and that was the title of a show I was developing with a production company several years ago. So that's on YouTube, Truth Seekers. So the name he uses on YouTube is Stephen Cambion, spelled Cambien. And in the course of us doing our harassment and stalking lawsuit, tortious interference with business practices, and he's been acting more and more desperate now that I've mentioned publicly that we're going to be suing him. And as I said, he called the CEO of my aerospace company, Savati, and pretended that he was the Washington Post. And Chris answered the call, but then found out, okay, this guy's talking about lawsuits and David Wilcock, and it's obviously Stephen, so he hung up on him.
Okay.
And so this guy has no limits in what he's trying to do to hurt me. He's been doing, just to give you another piece of context, I have all the evidence that's going to be in our lawsuit. He creates like 40 new identities a week on Twitter. And he's constantly bombarding my page with just spectacular hatred, which includes death threats. He's actually made, I mean, they're not strong death threats, but he said, like, we are going to get you and stuff like this. And they're just, the level of malice and hatred and violence in these things that he puts on my Twitter are incredible. And we've had to take down probably like 6 impersonation accounts just in the last 2 weeks where he uses my name, David Wilcock, but then he misspells it. I have all that evidence as well.
Okay.
There's another one that he just did that I got to take down now, actually. I haven't done that yet.
Okay.
And so given the fact that I actually had to hire 3 different people just to stop him, because it's like whenever I post on Twitter, he just absolutely bombards it with these fake identities, and the hatred is incredibly violent. He keeps escalating. So I had to hire 3 people. I've got Ridgeline, which is my customer service team. I've got Mike Wiskowski, and I've got Artie Thomas.
Okay.
So between those 3 people, we're all basically taking the shit down that he posts. But he also has been like calling everybody on my board of directors for the company. He threatens them on the phone. When I was donating to a sloth rescue in Costa Rica, he called them and said he was doing an investigation. And then he abused the woman on the phone. He swore at her and said, I hope all the sloths die. That was like 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, he is unstoppable. And he brags about it on his YouTube. He's done videos that you can watch where he's talking about all the things he's doing to disrupt me and laughing about. So we need to get like a restraining order on him and a cease and desist and injunction, but we're waiting until we actually have our lawsuit ready to go.
Okay.
And we're not quite there yet, but this is just going to add to the portfolio of all the stuff he's doing.
Okay.
Incredible.
Well, I'm sorry this is going on. I'll be sure to text you the case number for this, and I'll be documenting our conversation in that case. And if I have any follow-up questions, do you mind if I just reach out to you?
Not at all. I mean, in a way, I'm actually glad that he did this, because the more crimes he commits, the better it is. But I'll tell you this, I would imagine now that he's willing to escalate this much, this is a new level of escalation for him, that probably the next thing he will do, especially after because I haven't publicly announced that we euthanized Gurley yet, but probably the next thing he's going to do is call in a SWAT and say that there's somebody here and that I have a gun and I'm threatening them. So I probably do need to speak to whoever in Boulder County that he would call, because I would imagine that's going to be his next move, so that I don't get swatted, or that you guys know to be suspicious if somebody calls that in. Or maybe you can help me warn them to expect that somebody might be about to do that, because this guy is the worst. I mean, I'm friends with Jenny McCarthy, and her husband is Donnie Wahlberg, who's Mark Wahlberg's brother, and she says they've never seen anything like this in Hollywood history. This guy is the worst we've ever seen.
Okay.
It's incredible what I'm going through with this guy. I wouldn't at all be surprised if he tries to swat me next.
Okay. Well, since I am part of the sheriff's office, I do work pretty closely with the deputies, so I'll just make the Netherland cars aware of what's going on and the allegations, and yeah, we'll just kind of go from there. But do you have any further questions for me while I've got you on the line?
Well, I have a gigantic, overwhelming amount of evidence that I could give you if you need more proof of what I've been telling you is being true. So if you do need any of that, I'm happy to provide it, but you probably don't. I mean,
at this point, I don't think it's necessary.
I have 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm on Ancient Aliens. I'm in over 100 episodes. It runs all day Friday and Saturday on History Channel. So when you're this famous, there's people who just really, really hate you and want to hurt you. And this guy just happens to be like the worst anybody's ever seen in Hollywood history. So It obviously is him. I can't imagine anybody else in my audience would have done this but him.
Okay.
What exactly did the letters say? They said they were worried about the health of my dog or something?
Yeah, here, I'll pull up the email complaints and I can read it to you verbatim. Give me 2 seconds. Get quite a few emails, so I just need to find that.
What a jerk. I can't believe he would go that far. But then again, I mean, he keeps escalating more and more and more and more. So it's really scary, actually. I don't know but what he's going to come out here and try to kill me. I mean, it's very frightening. The whole thing is very frightening.
So this says here, the German Shepherd appears to be very old and clearly dying as per witnessing the animal of David's video via YouTube within the last week. The dog is shaking, whelping, and clearly in extreme pain. The owner, David, claims the dog is dying. The German Shepherd needs immediate medical intervention. The suffering of the animal is horrendous to observe.
Okay, well, that's all a lie, because I haven't filmed Girly in a very long time. I haven't put up a video with her in it in months, and that's easily provable by going to my YouTube and my Twitter pages. So this is a completely fabricated fake attack. The only thing that did actually happen is that I did a live stream on Sunday. I had 4,500 people watching live, and there was thunder, and she was pacing around upstairs, and I told her to lay down. But there is no video of her. I mean, you read it really fast. I couldn't type it all, but...
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah, it's okay. Shaking, whelping, all that stuff, that's completely false. I've made no videos of her. And so that is somebody who's totally lying to you and fabricating information that I can easily disprove. So I am going to need this for my lawsuit, because this is another level of escalation that he's just conducted. It's obviously him. It wouldn't be anybody else.
Okay. So that was one of the emails we received.
Right, and then he'll make another identity, and he'll either call himself a woman, or he'll have some other name, and then he'll do another one. So you have another one.
Yeah, and both of these emails will be attached to the case file. The other one is fairly vague, just stating that you mentioned her over the last month on your YouTube, that she's no longer eating, falling over while trying to walk, and possibly bleeding while using the bathroom. States that he has refused to get her care from a vet, even though people are telling him to give her help. People have even sent him money. So.
No, these are all defamatory. This is defamation. These are lies.
Okay.
It's not true that she's no longer eating. She always would eat very enthusiastically. She had not fallen over while walking. I mean, I guess that could happen once, and I mentioned that on Sunday. But no, this is Stephen. I'm telling you, it's this one guy. I've got a warehouse of evidence. I've got... Part of the problem with the lawsuit is he's done so many things. It's like, this is going to be like a 200-page filing, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, how do I even wrangle the fact that the guy posts these attacks on Twitter like 50 or 60 a week, you know? And I photographed them all, and he uses tons and tons of different aliases. and he's been aggressively trying to destroy me and our company. So this is just his latest creative attempt to send you two different emails. But again, I can easily disprove these things as lies because I never made a video about her. You know, nobody's ever seen her for months. Last video I had her in was, God, I don't know, last year, I think.
Okay.
It's just total defamation and fabricated. I mean, we know who it is. It's a stalker. Yeah. I'm sorry you had to go through this, Rhiannon. I am.
Well, I'm sorry to have, brought this up during a painful time during the loss of your dog, but I sincerely appreciate you giving me a call back and being willing to remain in contact if I have any further questions. And you have my number, so if you have any questions, please let me know. But I'll make sure to get that.
So you said I can do a records request with the case number, and then I can get these emails from there?
Yep, so I will send you the case number as well as the phone number for our records department. This may not be available until probably Monday next week because I do need to move forward with just typing out my report and documenting our conversation. And I'll probably just reach out to Netherland Vet to get the record to show that Girlie was euthanized and that we don't have to worry about her welfare moving forward. So tomorrow's my Friday, but I should have my report done by the end of tomorrow, and then it just needs to go through the approval process with records before it's available to the public.
Man, I think I'm being very calm, and I'm not cursing, and I'm not getting angry, but I am very, very angry that he did this. This guy will not leave me alone. He started doing this 10 years ago. He does it on a week-by-week basis. He tried to get people to get me audited by the IRS. I have a nonprofit that I donate to animal rescues and stuff, like I said, the sloth thing. He tried to get me, he told people to audit my company. He's published my address. He's published my phone number. He wants people to attack me. He's published all the names of the people on the board of directors of my aerospace company. He says that we're a fraudulent company. He posed as the Washington Post. He said to my CEO that we don't really have a naval admiral on our board, which we do. His name is Charles William Moore. And he was actually going to become the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, but then the DEI stuff, he got butted out of that, and he's working with us. This guy just is unrelenting. He does it every day. He creates about 40 new identities a week. He doesn't stop. And the violence is going up and up. He's making death threats. He tells me he's going to get me. And he's filed 2 fake lawsuits against us, which, he doesn't even know what the hell he's doing. They don't even look right. So he's really scared because he knows we're going to sue him. I've talked about it on my show because I've never had anybody this aggressive in my whole life. And so this is just his next step. So yes, please tell everybody in your office, if David Wilcock gets swatted, it's not real. I don't have anybody here. I mean, I'm not going to be hurting anybody because there's nobody here. But that'll be the next step, is he's going to say, he's going to call up you guys and be screaming and say, oh my God, I'm at David Wilcock's house, I'm being stabbed, or something like that. That's probably what he'll do next. So please be on the alert for that, okay?
Okay. I'll make sure to let the deputies know that this is a pretty complex and fluid situation and that there's potential for that.
Yeah, I would call it terrorism. He's essentially terrorizing me, and he's trying to hurt me and hurt my life and hurt me in any way that he can, and this is just the next step for him,
Yeah. And
he has no fear.
Yeah, unfortunately I can't speak to the laws outside of the animal realm since I deal primarily with the animal stuff, but I'll make sure that the deputies are aware of the report that was filed and your address. So.
Yeah, if you could just let them know that there's a very high risk now that he's going to do a fake SWAT and that they might get a call like that. And please call and text me if he does that so that I can respond without you guys just showing up here with guns. Because that's probably, people do this. They want you to get shot by the police. They're going to make it sound like there's some horrible violent event happening in my house. But I'll just tell you right now, nobody else lives here but me. I'm alone. Nobody is going to be here. It's just going to be me. So if that happens, it's totally fake and it's the same guy.
Okay. The deputies will have access to my report, so your phone number will be included in that.
Great.
Is your last name spelled with 1 L or 2?
It's Wilcock.
Okay. And David, what is your date of
People
birth?
misspell it as COX, but that's not correct.
Okay. So David Wilcock, COCK.
Yep.
What is your date of birth?
March 8th, 1973.
Okay. And this is the best phone number to reach you at?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, I think that covers the questions for me. I'll get that case number and the phone number for records sent over to you here shortly. In the meantime, if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I want to get my hands on these emails, but you say that with the records request, once I have the case number as of Monday, we can do that.
Yeah, and I just can't guarantee when it'll be available to the public. The earliest would be next week. So.
Yeah, we have such a mountain of evidence against this guy that it's like we're just going to add this to a gigantic body of data, but it really emphasizes that he is continually escalating, and we have to move pretty quickly now to do the restraining order and the injunctions and all that kind of stuff, because this is the next step. The only thing left he's got now is a SWAT call, so I highly expect that will happen.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll, like I said, I'll definitely make sure that the deputies are aware of what's going on.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Rhiannon.
Yep. Sorry to call you at a distressing time. Sincerely, sorry for the loss of Girly. But I hope you have a good evening.
Thank you, Rhiannon. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Sheriff's office. Sheriff's office, anyone home?
Same room.
His bedroom sliding glass door is open, screen shut, but there's nothing in there either.
See any dog?
There's a dog bed right here, no dog.
Okay. Will you run and grab tape? Thank you.
Dude, I thought we had a fire in Colorado somewhere. I looked it up. This is all from Canada.
I know. 5 million acres.
5 million?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, because
All
there's
one fire?
no, there's several burning right now. By a grand total of 5 million acres so far this year. Sucks.
Yeah, that's
Highly unfortunate.
yeah. That's really unfortunate because that's where America gets like 80% of their wood from Canada. So wood prices are about to skyrocket.
Yep, as if they weren't bad enough.
Yeah.
Such is life, I guess.
Yeah, this is beautiful place.
Yeah, hell of a
Obviously
property.
making money off his YouTube accounts.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure he gets some nice gratuity. I don't know what the right word is for ancient aliens.
Well, I mean, he clearly isn't broke. I
Yeah,
don't know why he's not taking his dog to the vet.
that's a great question. Thank you. Seven eight seven on data.
787.
May I have a CR for this call on Ridge?
787-3692-3692.
Copy, thanks. Good. Oh, it's fine. I know, but I already took it off, so it's like, might as well. Cool.
No. I'm gonna peek through the garage if the blinds are closed. He has a trail cam at the beginning of his driveway, but there's no other cam. Well, good job making the right turn. I did not make the right turn.
I was, when we saw you make the wrong turn, and we're like, okay, it's supposed to be like right here.
Yeah. Right now, don't trust me ever on directions. I'll drive around in circles for 3 hours. I don't give a shit. Absolutely. Yep. Oh, don't be sorry. I got shit going on up here right now, so. This was the exciting part of my day so far. Okay. I won't look at it, but okay. I mean, I will, not the whole 4 hours. I do kind of want to see what this guy's all about, though. So yeah, send it to me.